I want to give the GoPro a fair chance. So I've been using this a lot more over the last few weeks for filming different shots for videos and stuff, and I've got some thoughts. I want to talk about the good and the bad about this camera and whether or not maybe it might be the camera for you. What is this? This camera is sort of built towards, it's aimed at creators and sort of adventurers, vloggers and the creative market. But this is not that camera if that's a camera you're after. This is an action camera, and as an action camera it is phenomenal. So if you're after the best action camera only, then the GoPro 13 is the one I'd recommend. But this is not all the other things you want from action cameras. Everybody these days wants the creator's camera, the vlogging camera, the adventure camera, the camera that can take photos, a camera that can do good slow-mo. Everybody wants the all-in-one package, and there aren't many cameras out there that perform that feat. There are other cameras that I'd recommend you look at if you're looking for an all-in-one pick-up, shoot, family holiday kind of camera, and that is the Ace Pro 2 or the Action 5 Pro. Those cameras are far better, in my opinion, as an all-round camera than this camera. This is the action camera that you would want to pick up if you were strapping it to a mountain bike, or you were going skiing, or you're going on a skateboard, although those other cameras can do that as well. That's why I'm always torn with the GoPro 13 and GoPros in general, is that I struggle to recommend them over other cameras on the market like the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, because it just can't do much other than just be an action camera. And then on top of that, you throw in the dodgy UI and the user experience of this camera, and I really do struggle to recommend it. But I wanted to give it a fair chance, and that is what this video is about today. So let's talk about the good first. I've mentioned a few already. As an action camera, image quality is absolutely phenomenal. They haven't upped it over the last few years, and that's for a reason, because the image quality is good. But why it's only an action camera is because the weather and situation and the conditions have to be good for it to look good. If you're in California sun, then this is going to be the best image you can get. If you're jumping out of a plane and it's sunny, the weather's good, it's not rainy and cloudy, then this is the best camera image you're going to get. So that is the key to take away from the image quality. The conditions have to be pretty much perfect for you to get the perfect image out of this. The slow-mo is really good as well, so it's got slow-mo built in on this, so that's a good option if you've seen those wakeboarding clips on the internet that we've all watched. It's good slow motion, and it works in camera, although you can only have it in sort of burst scenarios. It's got creative shots built in, like light trails, vehicle lights, time lapse, time warp, those kind of things, and you can get some fun shots with that in low light scenarios, especially with vehicle lights. It does make for interesting shots, so you've got those built into the camera as presets as well. That's another good plus. Stabilisation wise, GoPro led the way originally with the stabilisation. You've got Hyper Smooth, which originally came out in the GoPro 7, I do believe, and that sort of just changed the game, and since then stabilisation has been sort of class leading in my opinion, although the others have caught up, especially over the last year or so. The GoPro 13 still has really good Hyper Smooth stabilisation, and you know, if you are going to be using this as a vlogging camera, having that stabilisation is key for a nice smooth shot. So stabilisation is brilliant. Build quality, you know, this thing hasn't changed over the last few years apart from the new heatsink on the front. There's a slight different design change, but it's the same size, dimensions. Build quality is good. You can't go wrong with the build quality. It's rugged. If you do break the lens, you can replace it. You've got the new magnetic mount on the bottom as well, and that is phenomenal. That comes under my last Pro. The mag mount is brilliant. You can swap it now from different accessories, although you do have to buy it separately. It doesn't come in the box like the other cameras on the market. You have to buy that. It is a metal mount, which is really good, so it's higher quality than the other ones, but you have to buy them separately. They're £20, so if you want to buy 2 or 3, you're talking about another £40 or £60 on top of the purchase price. Just something to think about. Okay, let's talk about the bad, because there are a few things that GoPro really need to work on in my opinion. As good as this camera is, still not perfect, even with this GoPro 13. One, from the very start, the first time I used it, I was having freezing issues again. It just went black. It didn't turn off this time, it just sort of went black, the screen. I still had the information around it, but the screen was black. I had to pull the battery, reboot it, and so we're still getting those freezing issues. Again, the UI is still a little bit sloppy, like clunky, slow. Touchscreen isn't sensitive compared to other cameras on the market, like the Ace Pro, which is just brilliant, the UI, and the Action 5 Pro now is really good as well, although not as good as the Ace Pro. The Ace Pro really leads the market when it comes to the UI, user experience. I think it's just because it's a bigger screen. The GoPro's still not very sensitive and a bit clunky to use. Still don't like it. And the other thing is that really annoyed me is that they changed the battery orientation with. They wanted to increase the capacity, I understand that, but they changed the orientation of the connections, so you have to buy new batteries now. The older batteries aren't compatible with the 13, and that's something that really, well, annoyed me, I'll say that, because everything else is compatible. All the other accessories work with this camera, including the Max Lens Mod 2.0. They're all compatible. We've talked about the Media Mod and the Volta and everything, so it's really unfortunate they changed the battery. That was a cash grab to get more money out of you. DJI with the Action 5 Pro increased the battery up to 1950 milliamps without changing the size and shape of the battery. So the old batteries are still compatible, the new batteries are obviously compatible as well. So DJI did it. I don't know why GoPro couldn't. Those are just a few of the downsides that you got to think about before you purchase this camera. So the price is the next point, and I've written a little bit of a list in front of me. If you want to buy this for mountain biking, there's a mountain biking combo, and that is £559. And with that, you get the GoPro, you get the wide-angle lens, so you can get that sort of hyper-wide, sort of hyper view for mountain biking, which looks really good, by the way. You've got a chest strap, which is essential if you're doing mountain biking to get that POV, and you've got the a case that comes with it as well. But then, say you want to get another couple of batteries. You have to buy the batteries. You want to buy the macro lens, which is billed as like a mountain biking accessory, so you can get close-up shots of your bike as you're riding around. You have to buy another couple of quick release mounts if you want to swap it from your helmet to the bike, so you got that in there as well. And then you're talking about $789.99 for this camera to get the best out of it for mountain biking, as said on their website. £800 nearly for this camera, and that starts to become very expensive, and you can buy all the accessories and get close to £1,000. So compared to the other ones on the market, like the Action 5 Pro and the Ace Pro 2, it's very expensive. Lastly, it is essentially the same as the GoPro 9. The actual build quality or anything hasn't changed over the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. It's just lacking innovation for me, and every year you expect something new from GoPro. They still haven't released a new GoPro Max 360 camera either. That's been 5 years as well. So I just question, what are they actually doing at GoPro over like a year? Other camera manufacturers like DJI and Insta360 are bringing out other products. They're really flooding the market with new things. Not just action cameras, they're innovating and learning from other parts of the market what to bring to the camera. And because they make all those other things like drones and gimbals and other accessories, then they've perfecting other technology and bringing it into their action camera to make it even better than the GoPro. So yeah, I just question what GoPro are really doing and where they're going. The share price I've seen has plummeted down to nearly like $1 a share. So if you think they're gonna pick up and release a new product, now would be the time to probably buy some GoPro shares. But I question that. I wonder how much longer GoPro are going to be around, how much longer we're going to see GoPro release a new camera every September. I fear that you might be coming up to the last. Whether they get to 15 or 20, I don't think they will. I hope they do. I just don't think they will at this moment. We'll see. But that is the good and the bad about the GoPro 13. I will finish this video on a positive. As an action camera, it's the best as an action camera, but not much else.